Hello, it's Pris, and I felt to get on here to share something because there's something being fulfilled, possibly from a word I had in 22. Okay. It was called Saving and Bending. It was given June 24th, 22, and it is on the website on the prophecy page. You can find it easily there. But I thought to share this because I didn't look to see if I had posted this on YouTube. And the word was this: startling changes are coming. Now remember, this is June last year. I have so much to do to change my people. That is why glory is coming. I will revive the dead bones of my people. I will not forsake America, even though many will leave her due to severe conditions. I will not leave her, for there is much value to what I've sown in her. So many are trying to figure out so many things, but not waiting on me. Okay. Come aside, he's saying, while there's time, and get my orders from headquarters. Only I know every detail of your lives and the plans of the enemy. And then he said, I am saving America to use her greatly in harvesting of souls. But to do that, I need those who bend to my will and not their own. Bending down to your true king is required in this hour. Too many are self-centered, clamoring for attention, out of insecurity, loneliness, or striving. Bending will be required on many fronts because Leviathan has been usurping the lives of many. And there are a lot of words in Old Testament I knew about pride. Love has grown cold, he said, through many circumstances and mind-controlled masses who hate me or attempt even more to subdue and control my people. But I am the one all will bend to in the end or be destroyed forever. A husband and wife bend to each other out of love and respect for one another, and so it should be a mutual bending of wills to fulfill my will. Hedge funds will fail. Crypto will fail, is what he said. Systems that are corrupted will all fail. Insurance companies will fold because they can't handle all the disasters that are coming, and might add deaths. Okay. Systems of medicine have been broken and corrupted and will be partly replaced, merging with natural methods and true science. Their schemes to substitute what I've created will fail. The earth will be cleansed with floods and fires. That's pretty strong, but we've already gotten the floods. And just the other day, I think it was the 11th, a friend of mine had sensed, she's a seer and she's prophetic, and she had sensed that a dam was going to break. And sure enough, in Northern California, there was a levee that broke in a county that's very agricultural near Monterey, and people were flooded out of their homes. And it's an area that grows vegetables and apples, broccoli. I can't think what the other two crops were, but they're significant for us. And there's been so much flooding, in the areas that grow food, that it's going to cause some, repercussions. Okay, cling to me, beloveds, and I will fight for you and with you, he said. Systems will be extinguished and rebuilt. Rebuilt means there's still going to be some time, right? I will not abandon you. I will establish you in glory, that you may shine, shine, shine to the world around you, the light of my countenance. Okay. That's coming soon too. Okay. And then you all probably know by now that the Silicon Valley Bank had a run, and it says wallets withdrew 902 million. 902 million. Okay. Stop it, phone. And there were shutdowns in Canada too, because I had a friend from Canada that wrote and said that they, you know, very tidily, you know, dealt with that in Canada at that particular bank, the Silicon Valley Bank. And this was said to me, and honestly, I know nothing. I know nothing about economy, but it was said to me that by someone that 50% only 50% of the banks met their ability to cover money with gold, and that's very serious. And we don't know which ones and do and which ones don't. But there's also someone who wrote to someone else that her son works at BOA, and that there are repercussions. But of course, a certain leader is trying to say that they're going to have a bailout, and such a thing would also mean a takeover in readiness for other changes, possibly. So keep an eye on the news. And I want to go to the other two words. So on the 10th, I got a word called trepidation. And the Lord said this: dread is on the hearts of many because they see the signs of the times. But I said, let me be your dread, for I am coming like a mighty rushing wind, and all that you see before you will be changed. Acceleration has been amplified, and it will seem like time is moving so fast it will make your head spin. Everything in the world and my church, called by my name, is changing. Some things more abruptly here and there all over the world. So stay your eyes on me, beloveds. Those controlled by the wicked ones are pulling out all stops, so to speak. They're desperate and think they have it all under their control, but they have no idea about my heavenly interventions. Coursers, which means a swift horse, are on the way with armies of angels for the great battle of all time. Hold on to me and with all that you have, for I will not disappoint you. Surely in a flood of many waters, I will save you and protect you. The enemy will spew out his troubling waters, but I am the ultimate rescuer of all times. Look at what I did for Moses, for Daniel, for Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Keep these in mind when the enemy tries hard to get you to worry. Remember the early saints who gave up their lives for the kingdom I was manifesting. Count the cost, beloveds, and know that my great surprise is close at hand. My army will not be as ill-equipped as the natural army on earth. Your natural army on earth, speaking of the U.S. They have the great advantage of their leader. Well, that would be true for anywhere, actually. They have the great advantage of their leader, the Lord of hosts. Absolutely. He is with you and will lead you in the path of courage and righteousness. He will fight back to back with you as you face your enemies. So be not afraid. Hold on to your faith and his love and goodness towards you who love him. It just came to my mind, a movie I saw years ago. It wasn't the kind of movie that I normally would like to go see, called The Mummy. And Brandon Fraser, uh, and I can't remember the name of the actress, was in it. And at one point they were back to back fighting, like his back to her back. And the Lord had told me at the time that that's what he would be for us, in this hour. The enemy is truly the one in trepidation right now, he said, for he is unsteady on his feet, just like your leader. He is stumbling around, mocking and threatening, intimidating, implementing more wickedness. But remember all that I've said. Shout it from the rooftops. Declare it to the myriads in the heavens. Worship, worship, worship. Let him know you are not afraid. It will strengthen you and the angels if you do. Offer sacrifice of praise, those of you who feel overwhelmed. Instigators, speak out the psalms, sing out the psalms, whatever. Instigators of deception and intimidation will fail in all their attempts to control everything. They may go into the caves like bats, There was rumors of that too. But they will find themselves in gross bondage and unable to avoid their own demise like Haman. For I am the supreme justice, and the fires of judgment, ho, ho, are heating up, and the winds of adversity that bring down corrupt systems will do their work. I will keep you in the palm of my hand, so listen for my voice. Listen, don't run away after worshiping. Quiet yourself and wait. Don't be disappointed if there's no answer right away, but develop the practice of waiting on me as you're able. Escalating circumstances are here, beloveds of mine. Do not panic or fear. Everyone here will be in similar circumstances. So bring peace to hearts by the way you walk in my presence and authority and confidence in my ability to sustain you. Isaiah 8:12-14 in the AMPC says, do not call conspiracy or hard or holy all that this people will call conspiracy or hard or holy. Neither be in fear of what they fear, nor make others afraid and in dread. So don't make others in fear and dread. The Lord of hosts, regard him as holy and honor his holy name by regarding him as your only hope of safety. And let him be your fear, and let him be your dread, lest you offend him by your fear of man and distrust of him. And he shall be a sanctuary, a sacred and indestructible asylum to those who reverently fear and trust in him. But he shall be a stone of a stumbling and a rock of offense to both the houses of Israel, a trap and a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And that's all of that word. Whew. Okay. Let's make sure I got the whole thing here. I think I do. Yep, I do. Alrighty. Cleansing the Threshold is this one and this one's from March 12th, so day before yesterday, that I posted it, but it actually was given to me on the 11th. Okay, so 10th and 11th. The spirit of burning is at hand for the church, the Lord said. I will cleanse my threshing floors, and there will no longer be merchants in the house of the Lord. For just as I went into the temple in Jerusalem and drove out the money changers when I was on earth, I will once again cleanse the temple of your heart and of the whole of my church. Mammon has ruled long enough, and the gospel should be free to all who want to hear. The worker is worthy of his or her wages, but there is no fee demanded in the true church. Just as Peter said, silver and gold I do not have, but what I have I give freely, is the standard you are to walk in. People are more important than buildings, okay? Where is the house you will build for me, the Lord said, when I have taken up residence in every heart that has said yes to me? We are his temple, right? For men will burn down your buildings out of their insanity and rage. They will think they're doing my Father a favor when they murder you or drive you out of a place. And those who have turned like Judas in the future, this is, like Judas to the side of the wickedly religious harlot church, will not think twice to report you to false authorities to do with you what they want. Not one word of my book will be left undone, for I am not a man that I should lie, nor a son of man that I would change my mind. I will separate the chaff from the wheat in this hour of power. There will not be ability to hide from me, yet I am not the harsh taskmaster. I am not the religious one. The religious are full of rules, but no grace. They are out of balance. I said they're full of dead men's bones. They strain at a gnat and swallow a camel. I am arising in your hearts and will light up the darkness within and without. You will be so joyous when I do this that you will be full of ecstasy. It will be like living a dream, for you have no paradigm for what I'm about to do. Hold on to me, beloveds, for it's going to be a very exciting ride. The coursers, they come. Get ready, get ready. Expect and do not doubt that I have your best interest in mind in all I do, no matter how it looks in the world. Time is not going to fade in the distance. Summary judgments have been issued in the courts of heaven for those reprobate in mind and heart. Nothing will stop my judgments from being fulfilled. Yet my heart is ever broken for all the enemy has done to capture the minds and hearts of so many. So I am executing a marvelous plan I've had up my sleeve for a very long time, he said. There's going to be some noise in the heavens as this plan comes to fruition, so be not surprised nor afraid. The enemy shows his hand, but so will I. Be utterly wise and looking to me for all you need to know, for all you need to do. Okay, when he says noise in heavens, I'm not sure what he's talking about. I don't know if he means trumpets, because some people have been hearing trumpets in the world, blowing for a good long time. Um, I mean, length of time that they're blowing. And then, and he had talked about, a starlight event in Russia. So I'm not sure, exactly what that's about. Okay, the Wycliffe Bible, Matthew 23:23, says, "Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, that tithe mint, anise, and cumin, and have left those things that be of more charge of the law, doom, and mercy, and faith. And it behooved to do these things, and these things it behooved or needed to do, and not leave behind the others." Okay? Blind leaders, cleansing a gnat, but swallowing a camel. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, cleanse the cup and the platter without, that make clean the thing of the cup and of the platter that is without forth, but within ye are full of raven and uncleanness. Eeh. Thou blind Pharisee, cleanse first the cup and the platter within, that what is without forth be made clean. This old English is a little difficult, but I know the Wycliffe is fairly good version. Okay. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, that be like sepulchres whited, that be able to be sepulchres made white, which without seem fair to men, but within they're full of bones of dead men and of all filth. So you without forth seem just to men. So outside you seem just to men, but within you be full of hypocrisy and wickedness. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, that build the sepulchres of prophets and make fair the burials of just men. Excuse me, and say, if we had been in the days of our fathers, we should not have been their fellows in the blood of prophets. Excuse me, and so ye be in witnessing to yourselves, that ye be the sons of them that slew the prophets. Okay? Fulfill ye the measure of your fathers, and fill ye the measures of your fathers. They slayed Zechariah between the porch and the altar. Okay? So when Jesus was talking about prophets, dying in Jerusalem, it was because of the religious, just like him, just like he was killed by the religious leaders. Ye adders and adders brood, he calls them. Ye serpents, fruits of adders, how shall you flee from the doom of hell? Therefore, lo, I send to you prophets and wise men and scribes. I send to you prophets, wise men, scribes, and writers. And of them ye shall slay and crucify, and of them ye shall scourge in your synagogues, and shall pursue from city unto city. That all the just blood come upon you that was shed on the earth, from the blood of just Abel to the blood of Zacharias, the son of Barachias, whom you slew between the temple and the altar. Yikes. And then help me, Lord, to remember to post there. I was led to this reference that talked about men don't follow titles, they follow courage. That was from Braveheart. And there was an article that was good on that. And then he walks with us on threshold covenant, about crossing the threshold or cleansing the threshold, what that meant. And then Zechariah 14:21 in the Complete Jewish Bible says, "Yes, every cooking pot in Jerusalem and Yehuda will be consecrated to Adonai Tzavaot. Everyone who offers sacrifices will come, take them, and use them to stew the meat. When that day comes, there will no longer be merchants in the house of Adonai Tzavaot." And in some versions it says there will no longer be a Canaanite. Well, the Canaanites were really good at merchandising. Okay, so he's talking about those who buy and sell, just like in Jesus' time. Okay, and then Isaiah 4:4 in the Wycliffe says, For the Lord washes away the filth of the daughters of Zion and washes away the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof, and all the bloodshed. In the spirit of doom and in the spirit of heat, or another way, by the spirit of judgment and the spirit of burning. So the spirit of burning is coming. It's coming to the church. Ho, ho, ho. There's nothing that can stop it. So important to ask God to cleanse your heart from anything. Okay, so there were also, the levee that broke that I talked about before forced hundreds to evacuate. Okay, it said more than 8,500 people were under evacuation orders. And, oh yeah, here it is. It says it's famous for its strawberry crop. Yikes. Okay. And then across the central coast of Monterey County, more than the 8,500, were under evacuation orders. And 1,700 of the residents, many of them Latino farm workers from the unincorporated community of Pajaro. Officials said the levee breach is about 100 feet. Crews had gone door to door Friday trying to urge residents to leave from the rains. Okay, National Guard rescued more than 50 people overnight. They were hoping allegedly to avoid and prevent the situation, but the worst case scenario came. You wonder these days how much is bad, because of what it says next. The Pajaro, is orchestrated because of what it says. The Pajaro River separates the counties of Santa Cruz and Monterey in the area that flooded Saturday. Floodwaters that got into the region's wells may be contaminated with chemicals, officials said, and residents were told not to drink or cook with tap water for fear of illness. Officials had been working along the levee in the hopes of shoring it up when it was breached on midnight Friday into Saturday. We've had more rain again off and on, so they were trying to fix the levee at daybreak Saturday as residents slept in evacuation centers. Okay. There was something else, I think. Maybe not. Weather-related power outages affected more than 17,000 customers, according to the Governor's Office of Emergency Services. Newsom's office, of course, said it was monitoring the situation. Although another report said that he hasn't been seen since he left recently. Okay. It is known not only for strawberries, that area, but apples, cauliflower, broccoli, and artichokes. So those are important crops for us. Anyway, that is that. And that is also fulfilling another prophecy I had in Christmas Eve 2014. I was peeling potatoes and the Lord said, blight is coming. And blight usually refers to wetness, mold. But it also can mean anything that keeps crops from growing. So I wasn't sure if it would be, one or the other, but there's storms all over the middle South and West Coast now. So keep an eye on things and learn how to grow food. It's not that easy. I've been trying, and for the last 7 years, ever since my son and daughter-in-law got a house, I started planting things, and we're trying to figure out, what will grow best in this climate. Everybody's climate is different, so it's important to look up those things. You can find information on which things grow well in which areas and when to plant them. the best time. Like the brassicas love colder weather, so you don't want to plant those, for summer. Um, and lettuce also likes cooler weather. And but there are other things that just grow like crazy, and we found out that don't get much bugs, and that's like chard and kale and the uh, deep leafy greens. Uh, the bugs don't seem to like as much, you know. So there's so much to it to learn about, and if you're in an area that's in the country and you have the ability to grow, then good idea to be buying seeds, because they'll probably cut those off from us in terms of ability to get them. So at some point, because they're trying to control everything. Um, Pray about it, and see what the Lord says. God bless you guys. Love you and see you soon.